How about now? Still the same? I sort of wonder why this card, when the driver isn't installed, does this weird tint. Huge improvement. So okay, all I did is change the audio bitrate. So I'll try and remember 48,000 instead of 44.1. Okay, cool. Audio is fixed then. Now let's try and fix the card. The new Bilko, the new UI is kind of sucks, to be honest. White Shark, do you have one of these? I think you might have one of these. Come on, uninstall please. Let's actually have a look what other drivers we have on this this drive. So last one I tried was 20.1.3. I might like go for 19.11. 89.90, nice. Oh. Would be kind of weird if the second GPU was toasted and the first one wasn't. Like, I would just assume if one GPU is toast that you have huge problems installing the driver. Okay, let's give it a restart first. I don't know. What do you guys think? What is there some sort of hardware issue with this card? It's autumn, but it's still hot out here. Come on, BIOS. Okay, I should probably ignore this. Let's see. I mean, if 2019 driver doesn't work, it is a bit frustrating. I'm using an old version of Windows 10 and there's no sort of like obvious clues in the release notes about the fact that both AMD and Nvidia drivers have quite huge problems with the with the old versions of Windows 10. And I mean, if a driver is Windows 10, it should work on all versions of Windows 10, really. All right, we should be back to Microsoft Basic Adapter. Exciting stuff. This weird tint is giving me a headache, but hopefully we can get rid of it straight away. I'm feeling lucky. I think 19.11 is going to be the driver. I updated my streamers list actually earlier on. Max, aka Hardware Numbers, was streaming 3800X on LN2, doing like 5.6. That was enjoyable. I always like watching other people stream. I definitely don't see them as competition. I think there's just so few streamers that I wish there was just more. I think more is better in this case. Still extracting. Typically you would need a capture card to stream, yes. I mean, I basically have 4 of them, but 1 is enough. This installer UI is much better. The way you can just pick between quick install and custom install, whereas on the 2020 version, for some reason, they don't seem to give you those options really. Yeah, I mean, you can point a camera at the screen. That's how I started off. It just, yeah, it makes it a bit harder because that also means you need two webcams. I mean, you can go without face cam, so you could go the absolute smallest setup, which is pretty much how I started. If you're streaming from a laptop, let's say, then you can use the built-in webcam in the laptop as a face cam, and then maybe 1 more webcam. But the absolute smallest setup is actually just a phone, so you can stream from your phone. So you can both use the mic and the camera on the phone, just pointed at the screen, and then you have voice. You don't have a face cam, but you have voice, and you have whatever you are overclocking. So I think that's pretty much the absolute minimum. Yeah. So you can just always do !rig to get a listing of the components and stuff that I use. This auto detect part of the stream, part of the driver install takes a lot on this Windows 10 install for some reason. Maybe I need a newer Windows 10, to be honest. That's probably the right solution. Let me see. Here's some of my bench SSDs. Maybe I can put 1909 on one of those. So Microsoft has kind of put us in a difficult. Okay, that's a Vantage OS. That could come in handy later on, but not now. Microsoft has put us in a sort of uncomfortable situation by making a Windows 10 a so-called perpetual OS. As I see some drop frames. Yeah. Sorry, the stream just had a hiccup. Okay. Clock manipulation. Yeah, that's also an issue. One sec. Let me just fix my face cam. Nothing happening on the bench rig anyway, so. Alright, that's better. Okay, I am restoring a 1909 Windows 10. But basically my point is, this has been the most long-winded point ever, but Microsoft are basically following the same model that Apple were. So Apple Mac OS 10 or OS X is a so-called perpetual OS. So there's basically no plans whatsoever to come out with an OS 11 or whatever, which is good in one sense, but bad in another, because it leads to these kind of situations where the oldest version of the OS is a different OS to the newest version, yet they're still called Windows 10 or Mac OS 10. I mean, I know why they did it, because they want to go to some sort of like OS as a service bullshit kind of setup. But yeah, I really don't like it. Is this going to install? Yeah. Seeing some drop frames. Don't know why.